Hey y'all, how y'all doing? So I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about how I prepare for this storm. I got a couple buddies that have been asking me, hey, what you doing to prepare for this storm? Storm Milton, right? Headed right through the center of Florida. And a lot of people seen the damage from Helene and they're new to this. So they're asking me because I'm a veteran. I've been in Florida since Christmas of '97. It's 24, almost 30 years here. So about to be 30 decades here real soon, 3 decades real soon. And I'll tell you how I prepare for the storm, but first I'm gonna give you the 3 types of people that you'll see in Florida when storms come. There's the type he's the old school Floridian, he's the veteran, and he says, who cares, man? Just another stupid storm. Let's have a damn hurricane party. Let's see how far I can throw the football and get as much beer in me as I can and just cook out and have a good time. Hopefully work is closed and I can turn it into a little hurricane party. And they could care less about the storm. I've been through so many of them, it's like, whatever, bro. Look at all these newbies over here going crazy, buying everything up, right? And then you have the newbies that are new to this storm stuff and they panic. They're like, whoa, what's going on? Are we gonna be okay? I think we're gonna die. This thing is humongous. And they run to the store and they over prepare, and the economy loves y'all because y'all gonna buy up more than more than what you need for a storm. Like, they buy up all the water. They don't just bring one little gas jug. I've seen guys literally at the gas station with like 10 gas jugs. It's crazy. They buy up everything they can buy up. They're at Costco, Sam's Club, you name it. And they're buying up 2 generators. They're going cray. And then there's the normal folks in the middle. And that's about where I am at. I'm not the old school veteran Floridian that's like, who cares? I actually care, but under one circumstance. It has to be a category 2 or better coming through the middle of the state in order for me to care. If you're in the Orlando area and you've never experienced a category 2, see, Milton, from what we're seeing so far, and this could change, right? So don't hold me to it. And as God's my witness, I hope it does change and get, better than worse. But as it stands right now, see, I have certain people I've been following since way back Hurricane Irma and even before. And these are the good weather people to listen to, and they got it right for Irma. They got it right for every storm. I've listened to them, and here Helene and now Milton, like, you can trust that they're usually spot on. And they're saying it's coming in somewhere on the Tampa side, of course. Whether it comes in Sarasota or Clearwater Beach or wherever, it doesn't matter. This thing's big enough to where it don't matter where it touches first. The eye, they're just talking about where the eye is going to come in, but the outer diameter of that's hitting everybody. It's coming in through there, you're getting hit. I got a little brother that lives in Riverview. I already told him you're going to get it. So the closer you are to the coast, the more damage, because they're going to get hit with a 3. They're going to get hit with a 3, and that's damage right there. And it's going to do some severe damage coming in as a 3. But by the time it hits Central Florida, we're at a 2, 1.5-ish, right? And by the time it exits Daytona side, it's going to be about a 1. And a 1 will still do some damage on the exit out over there by Daytona. So don't think y'all are on the clear. They ain't got to be as worried as the Tampa side, as the Gulf side. The Pacific side will still see a little something of damage as it's exiting. But excuse me, I needed to have a sip of that. I would say anything that comes through the center of the state that's at least a 2 is gonna do some major damage. You're almost guaranteed to be without power. This Helene storm didn't even come through here. Half of my town was out of power. So I know for sure I'm gonna be out of power. This storm coming through here. I'm not sitting here getting myself excited about the fact that I might not lose power. I'm losing power. I guarantee that. And for a 2, I board up. Anything above a 2, I board up. My house is made out of cylinder blocks, solid concrete. That house ain't going nowhere. Not with no 2. Maybe a 5 will take the roof off of it, but the walls ain't going nowhere. 2, the roof can handle it. Like I said, I got a brand new roof. Hurricane Irma dropped a big old tree branch on my roof, and I had to get a new roof. And we didn't go cheap. We got good roof. And we also paid, like, I spent like another $5,000 taking all the big trees down, and we left 2 trees and we trimmed them down real good. So I think we're fine on trees. The only tree that could possibly land on my garage roof is in the neighbor's property. And and I've been warning him to take that down. So if his tree drops anything on my garage roof, guess what, buddy? Hey, you gotta buy me a new roof, and I'm gonna be on that butt. I'm gonna be on that butt every day. My roof, your insurance, your insurance. I'm so sorry, but I need my roof. And he's gonna have to pay. And the longer he makes me wait, the more I'm gonna hit him with, So I don't like having trees on my property, especially if they could land on the neighbor's yard. And why do I say this about my neighbor? I'm usually more neighborly, but before I took my trees down, one of my trees landed in his side. And all it took down was his fence. It didn't land on his roof or anything. And man, he was sending me letters from lawyers and everything. And he wanted it done like yesterday. He didn't care. So yeah, you treat people how they treat you. And now all my trees are down, and he's still got a tall pine up right on the line, close to my property line, but on his side, completely on his side. And yeah, like it or not, if something falls from there, he's gonna have to pay. So pay attention to the trees in your property, the trees in your neighbor's property. Talk to them. Hopefully y'all can be neighborly about that. But anything category 2 or more can bring a tree down. And then gasoline, I filled my tank. I'm at gas station Wawa. I got the ethanol free tank. I always get it before a storm comes. Why? Because ethanol is free of ethanol. It's pure gas. And it burns a little slower. This ethanol, regular gas, the one with ethanol in it, they tell you 10%. I'm telling you, it's more than 10%. They've been watering this gas down for a while now. Ever since Trump got out of office, we got this more expensive COVID gas, and it's watered down gas. And I'm a technician by profession. That's my job. And I'm a senior technician, and I have a fancy scanner, and it'll tell me on a computer. It's one computer talking to the computer of your car. It's not my opinion. And it's giving me actual live data on fuel trim, O2 sensor readings, and I can tell you if a car is running rich or lean, if the fuel is good or watered down. So it depends where you get your gas, but I always fill up with ethanol free gas in the truck, because I know it's not gonna burn as thin. It's gonna be a little slower to burn through than the regular gas is. And I fill up a 5-gallon gas jug or 2, 1 per vehicle. So if you got 2 vehicles, 2 5-gallon gas jugs. Because you don't know how long you're gonna be without gas, and your full tank might not be so full, and you need a little top off, and you got a 5-gallon jug at home that kind of gets you to where you need to be in case you got to travel a little farther to where there is some gas. It's just good to have that little cushion there. And also the ethanol free gas, I get another 5-gallon jug for the small engines. Like if you have a generator, you want to run that on ethanol free. If you have a chainsaw, a weed whacker, a lawnmower, I don't care what it is, anything small engine, you want to run it always on ethanol free. They sell it here at Wawa where we live in Central Florida. So, but look up in your area where you can get ethanol free gas. And don't hoard the gas. Don't be one of these people with 10 jugs filling them up. Like, don't be one of those. It's balance, folks. Balance. You don't want to not care and not be prepared, but you don't want to be like ODing on, I need 10 jugs of gas. I've literally seen people do that. So what else do I do? Candles. Normally I have a generator, but hey, it took a crap, and I don't want to buy one right now. Right now is the worst time to buy a generator. You buy a generator after the storm, and after everybody's power's back up and nobody cares about generators no more. You don't buy one now. Even if you bought one used, Craigslist, offer up, Facebook Marketplace, I don't care. Somebody that's selling it there, it's because they got a brand new one and they don't have a use for the old one, and yet there might not be nothing wrong with the old one, but they still don't have a use for it. And I don't blame them, because if I wanted to get rid of my old one and I upgraded to a new one, I know I'd get top dollar for it right before a storm hits. And if you wait it out after the storm blows by and people get their power put back on, nobody cares about that generator no more, and they're willing to negotiate on the price. Especially if you're buying one at a store. Stores do be price gouging on stuff like that. Same with a chainsaw or anything else you're gonna buy right now. It's gonna cost way more out of hurricane season than it does during. You know, so those are things you want to keep in mind. Like for Christmas shopping, I'll give you all the example. We used to go the day after Christmas to go do our Christmas shopping for the following Christmas, right? Because everybody's out doing returns, we ain't with the return nonsense. We out actually buying, because it's 40% off, 50% off clearance stuff that didn't sell before Christmas. And we'll buy all that, especially if you come from a Spanish family, big family, and you got nieces, nephews, everything, you name it, and you go get everything, buy one, get one, 50% off, blah, 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 the day after Christmas, clearance, all must go. And we throw it up in the attic, store it in plastic bins with a seal tight lid, and forget about it until next year. Next year, bring it down, and there's your Christmas shopping, and you don't got to run around right before Christmas going crazy buying the whole family gifts. I might still get one or two specialty gifts for the following year coming closer towards Christmas, but the bulk of it, it's already sitting up in the attic. The old saying says, if you stay ready, you don't got to worry about getting ready. Well, a little bit of that too, but like I said, balance. So yeah, I like the after Christmas sales, and it's the same rule applying to buying generators or anything hurricane related. You don't want to buy stuff before the storm. You want to buy it after everybody's recovered and went back to normal. So don't run out and get a generator now if you don't got one. Don't run out and get a chainsaw now if you don't got one. See, I let a friend borrow mine and it ain't worked right when I got it back. I ain't going to buy one right now. If I need to, I'll go borrow a chainsaw before I go buy one. But after the storm, everything goes back to normal. It's the end of hurricane season. Milton will most likely be our last storm. They say there's another one out there behind it, but I ain't paying it no mind. Milton will be the last storm, the last hurricane of 2024 hurricane season. You mark my words on that. That'll age well. So all we got to do is get through Milton, and then we're looking forward to Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the other fun stuff, right? We don't celebrate Halloween over here. That nonsense is for other people. But the good holidays is right around the corner after this, and the good weather, especially here in Florida. So do what you need to do to get through Milton. If you don't got a generator, don't panic. Get you some candles. Food in your fridge is gonna go bad, so don't go crazy buying groceries right now that need to be refrigerator kept. Go get some food that you can easily eat without keeping it in a refrigerator. And it's probably just gonna be a couple days worth. Florida, I'll say this, it's gotten really good at responding to these hurricanes, and we got a great governor right now, DeSantis. And he stays on top of it, let me tell you. And Florida, it's not like Georgia and North Carolina and all these states that they're not used to getting hit. Florida, we're pros. We know all about getting hit with storms like this. Our governor, first responders, everything, like they stay ready for all this. So, like I said, we're in good hands over here, no matter how much damage it does. You want to be careful, not ignore it, but don't over panic. We got good people over here that know what they're doing. It ain't gonna be that long before things get put back to how they need to be, and we go back to enjoying the rest of the years. And this election will be over soon, and it'll be the holidays, and things will get better. But that doesn't mean you want to take the attitude of, who cares, the storm. I'm telling you, a category 2 coming clear across the state. It's been, 100 plus years probably since one's come from left to right all the way across the state like that, with that kind of power. A 2 is powerful, coming in at a 3. And I'm talking about a 2 is going to die down to a 2 by the time it comes through the middle of the state and exit at a 1. So that is enough power for the middle of the state, for Orlando, Florida, Central Florida, to not ignore this and take it serious. If you are boarding up, you're not wrong for boarding up. I'm boarding up. What a lot of people don't understand is if a you don't board up just so it doesn't break a window. You board up because if something were, your neighbor left the lawn chairs out or whatever, he didn't clean up his yard, and that stuff gets airborne and ends up through one of your windows. Now your window's broke. Now that hurricane wind speed gets up in the house, and that will change the dynamic of things to where that air coming in through your house will help lift that roof up off your house. And that's why you want to keep that house sealed. Now, like I said, older houses, especially like mine, brick houses, cylinder blocks, they ain't going nowhere in the storm. But I still got to keep my older windows sealed. As long as my windows are sealed and no air gets in through the windows, that roof is staying put. You'll hear it howl. I remember during Irma, it was howling. Woo, woo, all night, howling hard, and you could hear the boards on the windows flexing from the wind. Hey, them wind speeds ain't no joke. And everybody fell asleep, gave all the kids Benadryl and put them to bed, and it was just Papa Bear up, keeping an eye on things, right? And this one's coming through in the daytime, from what I understand, so they're gonna be awake for it. But you're gonna hear it howl. You're gonna hear your boards flex. But if you got an old brick house and you board it up, you're safe in there. You don't need to really evacuate. A lot of people panic and do anyways. Now, if I was in one of those new houses, wood frame houses, stick houses is what I call them, sticks and freaking drywall. If you're in one of those houses, 2-story, even more dangerous. I would 100% board up, and I probably wouldn't stay in it, even though I boarded it up. I'd probably go somewhere. I'd hit up an Airbnb somewhere up there in Virginia and go up there for a couple days or a week. Get a week Airbnb somewhere up in Tennessee or something like that. I don't know. But I'd probably board up the house and ride out, and then let the insurance deal with whatever damages happened while I was gone. I'd shut off all my electrical breakers, board up, and be on my way. But I got a brick house, like I said, solid brick house. It ain't going nowhere. And we gonna board it up and we gonna ride it out. So if people asking me, Danny, what are you doing? What are you doing? I always ask them, what house you got? Are you in a stick house or are you in a brick house? Because common sense, right? You know, the wolf can huff and puff and whatever, but that stick house might get knocked down, but that wolf ain't gonna blow down that brick house. So a brick house, you can ride it out. If you're in a brick house, how old is your roof is the next question. What condition is your roof? Did you throw up a cheap roof or a good roof? And say you got a good roof, you got a good brick house, and you board it up, I say ride it out. Now, I think we're going to be without power a week max. I think they've gotten good. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Irma. I could be wrong, but it's going to be close to Irma. I know that. Irma, we were out of power for 2 weeks. I think worst case scenario, we might be out of power Central Florida, the majority of people, for about a week. And I can manage a week without power. I know what to eat and all that. I don't really need a refrigerator. I got a barbecue grill, gas grill. And the hardest thing is to make sure you got gas to get around for that week. And really, you try to stay put as much as possible. You don't want to be out and about if you don't have to, because it's going to be debris down on the road, power lines down, most likely, people driving like idiots that ain't from here. You're better off just staying put. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with y'all. Those are just a few little tips from an older Floridian that's been through a couple of these storms. Try to be one of those people in the middle, not an over freak out person, and not a who cares, let's throw the football. When I was younger, I was one of them, let's go throw the football, hurricane party, let's get trashed, and not care. And nowadays that I'm older, got a family, a little more settled, you got to think about the safety of the little ones, you got to think about the safety of the older grandparents, you got to think about the safety of the family. And it's better, you know, safe than sorry. Prepare. And like I said, stick houses, you know, they're building them up so fast these days. Everything they build is a stick house. And I always tell people, buy an older house and fix it up if you can, because when these storms come through, you're going to want to be one of the few people in a brick house. My house was built in the 60s, 62, and I bought it cheap back in the late 90s. And it's worth a whole lot more, and we've done a lot of fixing over the years, and I don't regret it. I'm so glad we didn't go buy one of those new houses in them fancy neighborhoods with all kind of HOA rules and all that. If you're new to Florida and you ain't bought yet, buy where there's no HOA and buy an older brick house. Don't worry about how bad the roof is or if the septic or anything needs to get replaced, the AC unit, who cares? You'll fix that over time. But that brick, oh man, ain't no amount of money in the world can ever repay you back like that brick will repay you, especially in Florida. That brick will withstand. And all the tropical storms, whether it's category 1, 2, 3, what if a 4 even, whatever comes through here, you're gonna be better off in that brick house. And they don't build them no more, really. There's a few companies out there building them, and it's like a mixture of brick and wood. But solid brick all the way through, yeah, good luck finding that. Anyways, I'm gonna keep these videos short. I try to keep the yapping down to 30-minute max. We're approaching on 22 minutes here, it looks like. So I think I've said what I needed to say. Look, batteries is common sense. Canned food, snacks food that doesn't need to be refrigerated. Oh, I didn't touch on the water. What I do with water is I don't go buy up all the bottled water things at the store. I got these 5-gallon jugs and I keep about 4 of them. And I got a water dispenser you flip it upside down on. And Sprouts is not too far down the street from where I live, fancy little grocery store, and they have an alkaline water machine, like 38 cents a gallon. You can't beat it for alkaline water. And I fill up these 5-gallon jugs, so that's 20 gallons of water in 4 jugs. And it's less than 20 bucks. It's like 15 and change. And I got 20 gallons of alkaline water dispenser. So I fill up the water dispenser, and I got an extra one that I fill up in case I need to bathe or anything. But yeah, that's what I do. I take care of the water with the 5-gallon jugs. I always keep canned foods and foods around, and I got some food I've ordered online that can be stored for up to 5 years and stuff like that, so I'm not worried about what to eat. The whole be without power thing, I got some battery powered fans, like Ryobi batteries. I keep everything on the charger before the storm comes, so I have multiple batteries that are charged and ready to go. And cell phone, even if you don't have power running in the house, you can always start up your vehicle and charge it in your vehicle. Yeah, so I mean, it's really not as bad as y'all think it is. We get about one really bad storm through Central Florida, like once every 10 years. There's been a decade or two where we've had more than one, but it's not common. Trying to think of when that was, but like, look, recently we had Helene, but that really didn't affect Central Florida. The coast gets it all the time. It's nice to have that beachfront property, but that coast gets it all the time. Like I've been looking at buying a condo over there by Daytona, right on the beach. You can get a condo $80,000-$100,000, not too fancy, and rent it out when I'm not using it. Whenever I want to go, I go and I stay in it. But I would have that as an additional property, not as my main property. I would never have my main property by the coast. My main property, you want to be in the center of the state. Central Florida and above. Not really below Central Florida either. Even if you are in the center of the state, you get hit with a lot more down there than you do from the middle up. But yeah, look for older houses, Central Florida and above. And Ocala's got some real good deals. If y'all don't know about Ocala, Florida, you can get some good deals out there, affordable still. Old houses too, brick and solid. And don't be afraid of these storms in Florida. Just stay calm. Don't be the person that doesn't care, but don't be afraid of these storms, because it's about once a decade where you get a 2 or a 3 or something that came through the middle of the state. It'll do damage. But if you're in an old brick house, you got a couple 5-gallon jugs, you know what you're doing, you board it up, you got some candles, you got some extra batteries and fans and things, a barbecue gas grill, you'll be fine. I'm telling you. And after a couple years, you'll be a professional Floridian. And every 10 years when that big storm comes, you'll be like, we got this. Not that you don't care and you didn't prepare it, but you'll say, we got this, don't panic. And that's where you want to be. And it's worth it being in Florida for everything you enjoy the rest of the year. After this storm blows through here, we're going to have the rest of the country jealous, because we have the best weather. The best weather. I would say Florida from like the October 15th through, I want to say like April, May. I want to say to like April. It's like really good weather. And then from like the end of April, May into October, oh, that's Florida. It's just, yeah, it sucks. It's hot, sucks. And then you get the storm season come through, you get the rain season. Yeah, so, but in a perfect world, I'd have some property up north somewhere, Tennessee or something, and I'm looking. But I would stay up there, like I said, from like April, May-ish to October-ish, like the 15th-ish. And then, I'd come back down here after October 15th and ride it out till April down here, and back and forth in between the two. And that, to me, is perfection. And we'll get there. We're working on it. But even riding it out the full length of the year in Florida, I still think it's worth it to put up with the months of hot and all that, and the rain and hurricanes and all that, because it's so dang nice from October 15th to April. That is just, the rest of the country's jealous and wish they lived in Florida. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video, y'all. I jabbered enough, but if anybody has any other questions on what to do, how to prepare for this storm, hit me up with a question or a comment below. Hopefully you've already been preparing and not putting it off to the last minute. Maybe watching this wasn't about you needing to know what to prepare, but just to get a little something that'll calm you down and help you not go crazy, but at the same time, don't go into who cares, the storm ain't gonna do nothing mode either. Better safe than sorry, right? It's like my rules with guns. I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. And that's how I feel about boarding up. I'd rather board up and not have needed to board up than to not have boarded up and have needed to. We'll end it there. God bless y'all. Take care. We'll see you on the next video after the storm.